Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of February 4th. Before we get started, let's go ahead and thank the Patreon supporters. We have Mario Casillas, Rhett Pally Rocks, Nick Rada, and Peter Burnham. Thank you guys so much for the support. Very appreciative of that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in the game this week. A handful of things to mention. Let's go ahead and let's do these smaller things first. We do have the War Within Dungeon event this week. This is always a solid one, especially for alts. Timewalking. Again, we have Timewalking. This is Burning Crusade Timewalking. You can take part of that. I believe Turbulent Timeways is still going on as well. The PvP Brawl is Comp Stomp, which is one of the most popular ones. It's a way to get basically free honor against the robots, against the bots of WoW. And you can take part in that. Now, we also have 3 holidays going on this week if you count Darkmoon Fair as a holiday. So we have Darkmoon Fair, of course. Still the biggest thing for me as I'm trying to finish out all my profession knowledge. It's going to the Darkmoon Fair, grabbing the profession knowledge quests, and doing those. Every little bit of profession knowledge helps, in my opinion, as I try to cap these things out. And so it's good to go there, especially on your alt characters. Maybe you're behind on knowledge on certain characters. You know, it's basically free. It takes very little time or effort to do those. But of course, there's other stuff to do with the Darkmoon Fair. I mention it every month because I'm a big proponent of it. But obviously, I hope it gets revamped and added new stuff, maybe more modern. But I'm a big fan of it. Some of my most fun times were doing the achievements there in the Darkmoon Fair. Some of them are quite hard for the time, right? A lot of old achievements, you go back and do them like, oh, that's really stupid and easy. Some of them were actually kind of difficult to do. And, you know, I thought that was kind of cool. We also have Love is in the Air and the Lunar Festival going on. So Love is in the Air. This is one of the most hated holidays, I think, ironically enough, because it's about love. But the X-53 Heartseeker, the Love Rocket, whatever the new name of it is, if you don't remember, they changed how this drops. It has a increased chance to drop on your first kill, and then after that, it's still like a really low chance. So you can still try to farm it by getting on a bunch of alts, but really your first kill of the day on an account is what's going to really count towards your chance to get it. But as long as you can still try to farm it on alts, basically, if you want to. But it's just not it's like a better chance to drop if you just do it every day one time kind of thing. But I'll be trying to get that. This is one that I don't have. I've been playing the game for a very long time. Still don't have this one. I'm not an alt farmer of these things, but I will do it probably once a day on a character and see if I get it, just to see. So that's going on. They added some new stuff to it, but I was checking out the vendor. It doesn't appear to be anything too big. I think what they added isn't from the vendor. I think you can actually get a witch's broom that is like Valentine's themed or whatever, Valentine's Day themed. So it's like a love witch's broom or something like that. I believe that can drop as well as the rocket. So I think that's what they added. I think there's actually 2 mounts from this now. And maybe the witch's broom one is a lot higher drop rate, so people can feel like they get something from it. I'm not sure, but that is there. For the Lunar Festival, we mentioned the Lunar Festival last week, but I said I didn't think there was any new rewards, and that's actually wrong. Let's go ahead and go to the Lunar Festival person. This one's a lot easier to do, in my opinion, so we'll check this out. Is this where is the quartermaster at? Apparently can't find the quartermaster. View the quartermaster? No. Well, anyways, despite me not being able to find the quartermaster, oh, there he is. All right, so they actually did add this thing. So it's like a little mount, like a Pandaria themed mount, let's call it. They added this, and there is a sky glyph. I don't know if this was here before, but you can decorate your dragon riding from Dragonflight mounts with the, or one of them at least, the Wildling Slither Drake with a Lunar Festival model. That's cost 50,000 gold. That might have already been there, but I know this one is new. This thing here, it requires you to get 75 of these coins of ancestry. If you want to be reminded about how large World of Warcraft is, go collect these 75 coins of ancestry. So these are just from these people that are, you know, you'll see them here. They'll be like at towns or major places with the beams of light, and you just click on them and complete the quest. There's like 30, I'm rounding it, you know, kind of rounding it or whatever, I don't remember exactly, but there's like 30 in Eastern Kingdoms, there's like 30 in Kalmador, and then there's some in Northrend, there's some in Dragon Isles, there's some in that they added in the War Within as well. And so you can You can look those up if you want. This isn't a guide on how to do it, but it does take a lot of time to do it. So hopefully it feels rewarding. I'm at 60 something coins right now myself for the Coins of Ancestry. So I am going to grab that. I'm going to finish off by, I'm going to go grab the ones in Isle of Dorn and the ones in Dragonflight and finish off here and get my mount for this one. But it's definitely a reminder of how large World of Warcraft is as they're going through all this. Now, you know, it's one of the rare times where we actually had a lot of stuff in game to talk about. When we talk about other stuff going on, we actually had very little news this past week. Almost none. There was more raid testing, I believe, and stuff like that going on, but there's almost no news coming out. As of me making this video, there wasn't even a new PTR build, which is usually they push one like every week until they get to the final build. Maybe that'll still come out after I'm done recording this video, to be fair. In which case, there could be a lot of other news coming out that I'll have to do like a separate video for if it's too big. But I waited a good amount of time to see if anything would come out, and it did not. So that was a little bit weird to me. Almost no news, almost nothing going on this past week. So that was a little bit odd, but that's all right. I don't know if when did we kill it? Did we kill it Tuesday night? So we got the cutting edge for Mythic for Nubar Palace, so that's done. We're going to be re-clearing now, having a little bit of fun, maybe trying to parse a little bit, that kind of thing. Although I don't know how easy it is to parse or hard it is to parse with all these buffs and stuff that are in the raid now, with the full buff plus the ring and stuff like that. I don't know how corrupted everything is, but it'll be fun either way, going back through the raid with some power and killing everything. So got Mythic Queen Ansarek done. I loaded that video up if you do want to watch that, especially if you're a Ret Paladin player. It might be interesting to you to watch Ret Paladin POV for that. Also, I did a Should You Play Ret Paladin for 11.1 video, which so far has done pretty well. Lots of information in that video about exactly how Ret works right now, the pros and cons of it. Also, of course, like I said, the cutting edge video. So there's gameplay. If you want to see the gameplay of Ret currently with the knowledge that are more in the words of what I was speaking in the other video. If you're a Ret Paladin returning, or you're someone who watches the channel that's not a Ret Paladin, but you maybe are thinking about playing it, I think that's definitely worth checking out there for you. The TLDR I'll give you guys is that Ret is in a pretty good spot overall right now, especially in PvE, which is what I'm talking about, of course, here. Speaking of PvE, I actually have been doing a little bit of PvP every once in a while. I check in. I do a little bit of PvP on World of Warcraft, see how it is. Still not a huge fan of it. I mean, I'm only doing solo shuffle. Maybe the more controlled groups are a little bit better experience, but not the best thing in the world. Like, I might try to grind up to 2400 on solo shuffle. I definitely think I can do that, but you know, it's definitely not the most rewarding, not the best content to do, like for yourself. Not content to make as a content creator, just like content to do. It's definitely not the best thing, man. I feel for the PvP players, man, but I would rather log on to Plunderstorm. I would rather boot up League of Legends. I would rather go play Fortnite with my kid. Like, there's almost any other PvP I'd rather do than World of Warcraft PvP. That's just me. I'm not hating on anybody. I would love to see it be cool again, but I think it would take a big overhaul. I've made videos about this. I don't want to go too deep into it, but a giant overhaul in how they approach how PvP should work in World of Warcraft, especially like instance PvP. World PvP, just keep it the same, whatever. Instance PvP, I think they need a huge overhaul in how they think about things when it comes to that. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun doing the holidays, doing PvP, getting cutting edge. I've been having fun this past week. Unfortunately, no news, so very few videos other than that Should You Play Ret and the kill of Queen Ansarek. And hopefully that will change this week. So that's it for this one, guys. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody have a good one.